This video is about how I design and create and make pens, all the way from the purchase of the pen kit to the making and final images of the product. So I got a package today from Woodchuck Wood Turning. Raymond Sprouse is the guy's name. And I purchased several kits to make wood pens. I had previously made the wood pens using all different kinds of exotic woods, which you'll see at the end of this video. But I'm kind of going over the products right here. I've sped up the video here because I just didn't think it was necessary for you to watch the painful process of me opening this package. But you can see I've got several pen kits. I bought some clear epoxy resin, which is great because I can mix colors into it. It won't turn yellow, or just leave it clear. Those right there are for they're silicone, and they're protecting the blanks and the metal bushings when I put CA glue on it. That's the activator for the CA glue. Don't ask me to pronounce that. I also have some dark chrome bottle stoppers. I like those. I'm going to try those, and some sheds of antlers and some beautiful cocobolo wood that I have. That piece right there will be drilled into the end of the wood or the antler and then secured with an epoxy. Okay, so I wanted to show you what I did here. I took two pieces of wood made of 45 and glued them up. This is ebony at the top, and this is zebra wood. And I'm going to make a pen blank out of this, so eventually I'll be drilling that hole through the middle and cutting it to the size for one of these blanks, kits rather. It's a single tube, which I like to work because it will keep the continuity in the piece. And if you look at this, you can see there's a little split right here. So we'll see how well that... I'll probably have to lean more to the side because I don't want to deal with that when I'm milling it. Now this piece is a cocobolo and zebra wood, and it's just a straight glue together. I used an epoxy glue, a clear epoxy for that. This again is cocobolo or concova and a ambrosia maple. You can tell the ambrosia lines in this maple. Zebra wood and ebony again. This is a maple and ebony. This is cocobolo and concova, South African woods. And this one is Padauk and concova. So there's a variety, but they are almost all of them except for one. Except for one of them has the angle. This one's a little crooked, so I'll have to probably mill it straight before I throw it in the tube. The thing that drills the holes down the center. I don't need any extra challenges, so. Those are the blanks that I want to use. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those that I can use with these kits, as well as I had these, which are pretty cool. This is the walnut resin blank I had. This is another walnut resin blank. This is a pine cone. This is really cool. You can really see the pine cone there. And you can see it over there too, so that's what I'm going to use for that. And here's another one, pine cone. I don't know if you can see those very well. This one's kind of narrow, so this tube may be too big. I'll see. Okay. So here I'm going to show you how I actually turn these wooden pens that I've made. And I start by putting the bushings in. This is after the hole has been drilled. This is after the tube. There's a brass tube after that's been glued into place. So it's all ready and set. And also the tube is made absolutely right angle to the top of the pen. So when it sits in the kit itself, it is absolutely flush all the way around. Those are been described in previous videos. The walnut casting, clear casting pen, I showed you that. That's where you can see how I did that. But this one is a, I believe it's Bolivian rosewood and walnut, and I'm using carbide bits. I use a number of different lathe chisels This is a circular carbide bit, and I have my speed up pretty high for this initial cutting, and I turn it down when I get to the sanding, but you can see here in slow motion now what I've done. And I speed it back up again because it's sanding, and that's kind of boring. But I go through several grits. I probably start out with like a 220, 120, and that really is dependent on the kind of wood it is. A hardwood tends to be, you know, it doesn't need as much sanding. It's not as porous, so that's what I find anyway. And I turn the speed down. I also go the length of the pen to get rid of any potential circular sanding marks that may be left. And I also, I'm using a triple E finish here, and I have to be careful with that not to get it on the bushings when you're using a white colored wood, like the maple in this case, because it will stain the wood and then it won't be nice. So looks like I got a little bit of staining there, and I'm not sure if it wasn't from the Bolivian rosewood, which tends to be oily. So now I'm using a hot hard wax, and I put it right on the wood. I'm not sure who I picked that up from, but I put it right on the wood itself, and just a pretty firm pressure, and then I wipe it down, and it leaves a really beautiful sheen. I just wipe it down with a paper towel. So that's the finished product right there, you can see. And you know, I'll look it over, rub it back and forth, side to side, just to make sure that it's nice and clean. So I'm just going to zip through these next 4 videos where I make different pen blanks, the wooden ones with the exotic wood, just to give you an idea that a lot of it is repetition, but the process is important to go through to really get a nice looking pen. In the end, it's very important. That triple E is kind of like a wax mixed with some kind of a grit, so it works at sanding. I don't know what's in it, maybe a pumice of some kind, maybe glass cutting pumice. I was going to try and make some on my own. I do have a black pumice that I was going to try, but I did mix some of that, and it tended to make things a little dark, so I wasn't sure that was going to work on lighter woods. Now it may work on darker woods like Bolivian rosewood and ebony and other woods, and walnut and other woods like that, and I may reserve it for those. But right now I use this triple E wax to polish. Now sometimes I'll add CA glue, a thin CA glue, several coats of that. Sometimes I use an accelerator with it, sometimes I don't. It depends. If I leave the lathe gently spinning, then I don't really need to use the accelerator. If I do use the accelerator, I spray it at a distance of maybe a foot, because that stuff can crystallize and leave this white residue, which you don't want. So here I go. I'm continuing with these wooden angled pieces, and I'll be showing you the final pens in a minute. I've done a voiceover on this video because I have a very noisy dust collector running, as well as a air filter running, and it's so loud it's rather annoying. So, but I do wear a mask. I don't wear a face shield when I'm doing, see there's the CA glue. I don't use a face shield when I'm doing pens. Bigger items I do, but I am wearing a mask. Some of these woods, particularly Padauk, the sawdust, can really be highly allergenic, and I do have allergies, so I want to be careful. And why not avoid problems? Here's the Padauk right now, and the Concova. And this is my final pen blank that I'm going to show you. I can give you more details, just ask me. I'm sure I've forgotten something. There's a lot of little steps that I just take for granted since I've been making pens for so long that, you know, I might have missed it. So if you do have a question, please throw it in the comment area. And if I don't know the answer, maybe somebody else who's watching the video can give you the answer to the question. Here are the final shots of my pens that I took in my studio. They are made with an executive pen in chrome. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up or a like and subscribe. And if you hit the bell, you'll get a notice every time I publish a new video, which I try to do once a week on Tuesdays. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more, go to mhstudios.com or my Etsy site at mhstudiosmelanie. Thank you.